Hello everyone and welcome back to another AFK journey video. In this video we're going to jump right into the top teams for Plague Creeper and we'll talk about the mythic plus key charms you should be focusing as we go through the teams because there are a lot of teams that I have to show you today. I'm going to begin with Elysion's team, which is probably the most free to play friendly. Main Fresto in front of Odie with the harmonic spell. Now for this team you're going to want to have the charms most importantly on Odie and Bonnie. Bonnie, Sorcery Charms are doing the best. Odie, Gale Charms are probably the best. However, Bloodlust can work on him. Even Insight Charms can work on him. And Bonnie, even Arcane Charms can work for her. Apart from that, if you can get the Smoky Charms, whichever one that gives him skill power, either Recovering or Sorcery Charms, that is going to improve the attack buff he provides to your team. And then fourth priority would be Mikola, getting her the Arcane Charms in order to increase her attack buff she provides from her Honor Arena. And then finally, Fresto, Sorcery Charms are going to be the fifth priority. They are not a major priority because they don't increase his HP per second damage. But yeah, okay, so overall, almost 89 billion damage with this team, which is not a bad score. However, it isn't competing for the top ranks. There are crazy teams today, and so this is just the beginning. Okay, next up, we're going to show you Mizon's team. So this is Mizon's team, Real Fresto in front of Ludovic, and you have Elijah Blue-Haired in the back. Now, for this team, you can run Bonnie. However, if you don't have Bonnie built, you can replace Bonnie for Lily May in the same position, and it won't be as good. However, it won't be terrible either. So that is something to keep in mind, even for people who don't have Bonnie. Now, for this team, the most important charm set is probably, as you guessed it, Ludovic with the Insight Charms. That is going to increase his damage significantly. And apart from that, Bonnie Sorcery Charms are important, but Twins Sorcery Charms are also important. Today in Plague Creeper, the Sorcery Charms on Twins are going to be increasing your score by quite a bit. And you can go for the Eagle Charms on the Twins if you get those charms offered to you first. Basically, you just need to get 4 alternate power onto the Twins, however you do it, whether it be the Sorcery Charms or the Eagle Charms, because the skill power onto the Twins is hardly important at all. And then Smoky Charms are going to be important, again, Recovering or Sorcery. And finally, Fresto is the lowest priority, but if you can get the Sorcery Charms. So 105 billion damage, that is pretty crazy, right? For a team that only using Fresto and the Twins, but there's going to be even crazier than this, only using Fresto and the Twins, using a hero you wouldn't expect for Plague Creeper. Okay, moving on to Shelby's team. So Shelby's team can be a good option, however, it is using 3 Celestial Hypogeans. The real Fresto is in front of Ludovic, and you're going to have Elijah Blue-Haired Twin in the back with the Harmonic Spell. Now, for Talene teams, you would have thought that Blast Charms are best for Talene because historically that has been the case. But for Plague Creeper, because when they split into the Plague Rots, they actually have health pools and they can be below 50% health, it's better to get Execution onto Talene, which can be gotten by the Destructive Charms. So you want to go for the Destructive Charms onto Talene for Plague Creeper specifically. If Talene has other boss uses, I don't know if she will. But then probably Blast Charms would be best for her. But for Plague Creeper, there's no question, Destructive is the top performing charm set. So, but again, the number one priority for this team probably still is the Ludovic Insight Charms. We can see his damage at the end. But then Talene Destructive Charms, then the Twin Sorcery Charms or Eagle, and then Smoky Recovering or Sorcery Charms, and then finally Fresto. Now, looking at this team, there's going to be RNG to it. We got around about the same score as the Bonnie team right before this. This team has a potential of getting over 110 billion damage. You will need to do multiple runs. Plague Creeper is a very high RNG boss, one of the highest RNG. So whichever team you pick, ultimately, you will have to keep running it. But do keep in mind, for this team that we just ran, I had the optional charms on everyone. I even had the destructive charms on the Talene. So it is pretty sad that we didn't even break the record of the Bonnie team. But that kind of shows you how strong Bonnie is and really can compete for top ranks. Okay, now we have 2 of the top performing teams. And then at the end, I have a team from Raguto using Mythic Twins, which might be better for some people. So we will do that at the end. But first, we're going to show these. So Frosty's team. Now we're coming to the Harak teams. Now, Siren is going to be in the second best team option. Basically, if you don't own or have built up Talene, and you have Harak, you have Fresto, you have the twins, you're going to want to run this team with Siren. Main Fresto, real Fresto in front of the Siren. Okay, and Elijah Blue-haired twin in the back with the harmonic spell. Now for this team, you will want to have you want a lot of charms. The destructive charms onto Siren are really important because that is going to give him execution and help with his damage onto these plague rots to clear them more rapidly for your team. Apart from that, you will want to have Harak charms. Now, it is debatable what is the best charm set for Harak, but it's between Sorcery, Balanced, or Butcher. So if you get any of those, you can use them, and it should help you. We don't know as of right now which one is the top performer for each of the different bosses. But Sorcery Charms has been confirmed to be doing pretty well today, but I think the other charms would do well as well. Then you want to get the Twin Charms, Sorcery Charms, that's number 3 priority, and then number 4 would be Smoky Recovering and the Sorcery Charms, and then finally Fresto with the Sorcery Charms. So looking at this, we didn't honestly get a great score, like not even beating the other 2 teams. However, if you had the destructive charms onto Siren, and if you ran this team enough times, you are going to heavily beat out that. People have hit over 120 billion damage with this team, but that is when they also have the destructive charms onto Siren, which is important. So yeah, do keep that in mind, and keep in mind that you're going to have to do multiple runs to realize your top score. I'm not going to be able to get it on my first run unless I'm like the luckiest man in the world, because already, like, it's basically like playing the lottery each time you do a Plague Creeper run. Okay, now finally we have the top team, but before we show you that, I'm going to show you Raguto's team. This is going to be Real Fresto on the Stellar Bond with the Smoky, and it will be Elijah Blue-haired twin in the back. And it will be the Blade Summon Artifact. Now, this was the best team for him when he used his mythic level of twins. And so, if your twins are not fully ascended, you can try this team. It might be the best option for you. I just wanted to throw it in there. However, you can try the other teams. We mentioned all the other twin teams because they should also work, even with lower ascension of twins. But there might be some sort of more optimal configuration like we have here. But yeah, it will be very account specific, so do keep that in mind, and you can just stick to one of the teams that we showed today, but I wanted to throw this team in here because Raguto does testing for free-to-play players, and he is a free-to-play player himself, and a lot of the teams that he showed have been useful to people, and so that's why I wanted to mention this one. Okay, now as for the charm priority here, Ludovic number 1 with the insight charms, Talene with the destructive charms, sorcery charms onto twins, that's third priority, and then Smoky with the recovering or the sorcery charms, and this got 102 billion damage, which is not bad. It's really basically all of the 4 teams we've just shown you right now have range between 102 and 105, but I think definitely there's potential for them to get even higher than that. Yeah, okay, maybe the Ludovic charms aren't as high of a priority on this specific team lineup because Ludovic is not even on the Stellar Bond of the Twins. Probably Talene would be the top priority, but then Ludovic would be number 2 priority. It isn't just based on the damage dealt. Like, you might look at the Fresto damage and be like, he's the second hardest damage dealer. Shouldn't we prioritize his charms second? Definitely not, because his charms hardly increase his damage at all. Okay, now we're going to look at the overall top team, which is from Jackie. This has hit over 150 billion damage today with good RNG. And we have all the charms needed in order to do this, so we're gonna hopefully get some good luck, and then we can see that amazing score. So it's gonna be the Real Fresto on the Stellar Bond along with the Harak. It's gonna be Lila, pink-haired twin in the back, unlike the other teams we've seen up until now. And we're gonna go right for the runs, and then we're gonna begin skip running with all of our remaining attempts and try to hit a high score. So with this team, the most important charm set is probably going to be Harak, although honestly Talene is also very important. So destructive charms onto Talene, and then Harak either go for sorcery, balanced, or butcher. But honestly, I do think, I have a feeling balanced overall is going to be the best in slot charm set for the vast majority of bosses for Harak. But we need to do more testing, and any 3 of these ones can work. The overall top score of today that got 150 plus billion damage was using sorcery charms onto Harak, so that is confirmed that that is working. Apart from that, definitely you need to get the twin sorcery charms, that's the number 3 priority, then Smoky recovering or sorcery charms, and then finally Ferris or sorcery charms if you can afford to right at the end. Now, the key to the Plague Creeper damage, you have to kill these big minions. Like, look at that damage. Like, just by getting that, like, those kills on those big Plague Rots, shoots up your damage score through the roof. Like you would have seen that we were sitting at like 120 billion, and then we killed one of the big plague rots, and then it just shot up to like 140 billion. And that is just the thing. How quickly can you kill everything? And the speed of everything is going to determine your result. And that is why it's so high on the RNG. Yeah, that's 144 billion damage, but we can definitely do better than that. The top in my server today is 150 billion. And yeah, I feel pretty hopeful and optimistic based on that first run, getting 143 billion. I think definitely we just need better RNG and we can hit that 150 billion damage or more. Okay, guys, we got 147 billion damage. I'm gonna take that. That is rank 2 position. So definitely, yeah, but we did a lot of runs. We only have 5 runs remaining. We're gonna go for top 1, but I don't know if it's gonna be possible. Okay, guys, we've used up all of our runs. Our highest score was 147.8 billion damage, which is a really good score when you consider everything. However, to get that 150 billion damage or higher, you are going to need amazing RNG. But it is definitely possible today with the optimal charms by the top players. But anyway, guys, hopefully by using these teams, you're able to get a top score in Plague Creeper today. A lot of it will also depend on your RNG. So make sure you're doing all 20 of your runs, whichever team that you choose. And also make sure you're optimizing your charms like we mentioned when we were going through each of the teams. But I hope this video was helpful. Thank you guys for watching. And if you're not already subscribed to our YouTube channel, please smash that subscribe button. We're on the road to 20,000 subscribers. Thank you guys for your support. Also, feel free to join my AFK Journey Discord server to chat with me more. A link to that will be in the description of this video. But thank you all for watching. I'll hopefully see you in the next video. And until then, everyone, peace out for now.